Vikram, Vic for short. I work for Oracle as a cloud solutions architect. I've only been at Oracle for a very short time, less than 2 years. Before that I used to work at Credit Suisse. So I've been talking to my mates and colleagues about blockchain for quite some time. I've been very busy recently at Oracle, talking to every single customer of ours wants to talk about blockchain, literally. So what I'm going to do today is share some of that insight, and show you a little bit what our strategy is and what our customers are thinking, what challenges they have. So before I start, I have to do this for all external presentations. So this is roughly the agenda I'm going to follow today. So I'm going to give you an introduction as to why I'm talking about enterprise blockchain, some of the challenges enterprises are facing. I'm going to give you a use case example and a demo. So I'm going to show you a little bit of a demo of an actual customer, and then a summary and Q&A. So I can't hang around afterwards, I'm going to rush to Heathrow, so if you've got questions, ask me in the Q&A, otherwise I will be coming along to the second one and you can ask me something. So just to kind of set the scene. So this slide really is all about the fact that last year quite a lot of money, almost $1 billion has been spent on blockchain investments. When this research was done, it wasn't even the end of 2017. There's a link down there, you can see where it is. A lot of CIOs thinking about doing blockchain, a lot of them doing proof of concepts, a lot of activity in the space. So that's the kind of general idea. And this is going to only increase. In the next 3 years, I reckon $10 billion, roughly $10 billion is going to be spent on blockchain technology. So we're only at the start, beginning of this wave, if you like. Also around about the same time, so October 2017, Cambridge Centre of Alternative Finance released this benchmarking study. Really nice guy, very clever guy as well, as you can imagine. And what they did is they looked at all enterprise use cases from companies submitting to them as part of this study, and they broke them down into sectors, and they came up with 132 use cases. You can see banking and finance is pretty large, but mainly because banking and finance is the first sector that started. So it's been going there a bit longer, but every single sector's got something that they think they can use blockchain for. Very interesting. You can download this again. It's free to download. Just wanted to give you some of the conversations we've been having as a company. So again, those sectors, some of the ideas. I'm not going to talk through all of these use cases, but you'll have a copy of the slides. I see some people taking pictures, but there's a version of the slides you'll be able to download or attach them to the
Absolutely.
So this gives you some idea of what people think they can use it for. Now, given all of that money, all of those smart people thinking they can use blockchain, why aren't you really seeing things coming out there from enterprises? Why aren't you seeing an announcement such as 130 odd announcements coming out this year? That study was done in 2017. They're looking at ideas from 2016, 2015, further back. You'd expect to be seeing a rush of things coming. And there's a good reason for that. There's some challenges that have to be overcome. So performance anxiety is a key one. So when you look at how interest in blockchain has developed, most of it's come from Bitcoin prices going up high, right? So everyone's like, right, I need to really look at this technology. And the first thing most people thought of doing was, well, let's do all our highly transactional operations, let's put that all on the blockchain. When you look at on the left-hand side, you'll see that these are what the actual customer use cases thought they could use for the initial concepts. So the initial use cases, they thought, oh, let's put all our mobile payment systems through. They do 100,000 transactions a second. If you look on the other side, you see this is what the current state-of-the-art tech does, and there's a bit of a gap. So only one of these use cases can be covered by the technology. So that's one of the first issues. Second issue is, again, in the enterprise space, you can't really, a blockchain's a network, but each enterprise wants to have their part of the network as resilient as possible. So this is the whole third parachute thing here. If your parachute fails, you still want to land gently in the sea. You don't want it to fall over. You need access control onto data, and things like that, things that enterprises need. The other thing they need is security. If you've got a man down, it's great picture, I know. You've got a man down, you need a whole row of soldiers behind them to back him up, pick him up off the parade ground, carry on doing what they're doing, defending you. That's really important. Enterprises can't let their guard down at all, particularly when you think about GDPR. So GDPR is huge fines for any slip up whatsoever. If you lose any data, that's it, game over. Enterprises typically don't want to run massive mission control just to support their blockchain platform. They want to be able to install it, let it look after, have it as automated as possible, have it look after itself. It needs to be easy. If they need, blockchain experts are pretty expensive. If they need to train a whole room full of experts, that's going to be pretty expensive. I mean, they won't be interested. So this is another issue that we've seen people come up with. And the most tricky one, left to last, integration. Blockchain network is not useful in an enterprise setting unless you can get data into it and out of it from existing enterprise planning software, supply chain software, SOR, system of records basically. If you can't do that, and it's not easy to do, and you need to do integration, and you need to pay someone to do that integration, actually starts to become a project, and a project in an enterprise takes 3 years. That's kind of the reasons you don't start to see the stuff coming out. So we looked at that, we looked at these studies, and we were thinking about blockchain about a year or so ago, but we did it a bit earlier, and we thought about, okay, we think enterprises probably want a platform. We're in a fortunate position to provide a platform. We've seen their concerns, we've seen what's going on. Our strategy is pretty simple. We want to provide a platform that's pre-assembled, so you don't have to figure out how to pump things together. We want to make it open. So in our case, we've partnered with Hyperledger. So Hyperledger Fabric is basically a commissioned blockchain, and it's unashamedly aimed at enterprises, so our type of customer. We want it to be plug-and-play integrations. So we're in a fortunate position as Oracle. You might know us for databases and things like that. Actually, we've got 140,000 people working for us. We cover over 100 countries. We've got lots of applications. Every single Fortune 500 company is running our software. They're running our enterprise planning software, they're running our supply chain software, they're running our expenses software, as well as our databases. There's a whole heap of stuff going on. So what we've done is we've created adapters for every single software that we've got, and that's already been done. So it's available. It's available now. Of course, we want the enterprise-grade security and patching, and we want it to be. The word autonomous is probably going to be misused, but it's as highly automated as possible. So there's little human interaction needed to make it really simple for people to adopt this technology. That's quite key, so from issues that we're seeing. Let me show you how complex it looks behind the scenes. So if you were setting this up yourself, you'd have to have your gears and your compute nodes. Those would store your ledger, the world state. You'd have a copy of that. You'd have your smart contracts right in there on the nodes. In Hyperledger's parlance, it's called chain code. It's the same thing. You've got something called an ordering service in Hyperledger. And this forms part of the consensus mechanism. So the way consensus works is a little bit different to public blockchains. It's not proof of work, it's policies, smart contracts, and the ordering service, which is an event messaging hub. So you've got this. You've got a membership service. Again, enterprises want to know who's coming in, who's coming out. They need that identity fixed. Straightforward open source is a certificate authority, but actually, when we're talking about enterprise, it needs to integrate with your directory service. So your LDAP, your Active Directories, all of those things need to be integrated. Thought about. So we've done that. In addition to that, we've written something called a REST proxy. That REST proxy is pretty smart. When you deploy your smart contract, you tick a box, you say, I want a REST proxy, you give it a call. We'll go and inspect your smart contract, figure out the functions and create the REST API based on the smart contract. Because you don't have to write that functionality again each time you do the smart contract. And then you need to look after it, you need to administer it, you need APIs, you need monitoring, you need backup, you need restoration, you need high availability. That's the admin layer. So that looks pretty complicated. It looks like quite a lot of bits would be going on if you were doing this all yourself. So what we promise to do is that we'll manage all of this for you. So effectively, when you go to, so we're the only ones doing something like this right now in the market. When you go to other providers and you choose a blockchain service, you'll get this built. They'll build to you something like this. It'll be an image, it'll be pre-configured, it'll be ready. From that point on, you're on your own. You have to look after it. You need to do your own mission control. You need to do your own backups, restoration. We promise to take care of all of that for you. Promise to patch it for you. Promise to protect you when the standards change. So that's quite important. You won't need to rewrite the smart contracts. So when the next version comes out, we'll make sure there's backwards compatibility. We'll do this without any downtime to your application. So if we need to take one of these nodes out to update it, you won't even notice. This is the thing you worry about, your application. So you just worry about what your application is going to do, interfacing with the API or using the SDK. How do you see fit? And this is the standard open source SDK you can download. So pretty easy to use. I'll give you a few customers. So we launched this in July this year, 16th of July. These customers, all of these logos that you see, these are live production instances right now. We had a 6-month beta program. Some of them are on the beta program, not all of them. Most of them were able to go live within 3 to 4 months. And I'll give you a bit of a flavour. So, Cargo Smart, they're a very large company in Asia who look after containers. They try to match containers to ships. Had issues with ships not turning up, containers being in the wrong place, wrong documentation, manual handover. They decided to go to blockchain. They've already increased the utilisation rates by 50% and improved their bottom line by 5%. So that's quite significant for a very, very large company. Again, I think we talked about energy earlier on. Solar site design do a similar thing. Microgrid, tracking rewards. M2O is a South Korean loyalty brand, so they think about obvious points, but in Southeast Asia, and allows you to switch amongst different point systems and have multiple retailers taking part. So you no longer have to wait for 3 days for your points balance to update once you've done spend. It's automatic because some of the blockchain data is there for everybody to see. So they're very pleased with that. Now, I won't go through each of these, and we've got other people building their own products and platforms on top of ours. What I will talk about is Certified Origins. So certifiedoRigins.com. It's a company that supplies premium brand extra virgin olive oil. They're split between multiple countries. They ship mainly to North America, and they have a very particular problem, particular issue. They were having issues with their olive oil being adulterated. Consumers were complaining. There's no traceability. It was very, very difficult for them to figure out what's going on. They're using manual paperwork that's still doing incorrectly, orders were wrong. Anything you can imagine is going wrong. They all had different systems, so each of these companies involved had different systems in the supply chain, and they thought, well, actually, it'd be great if we could share that data that we already have, already created. Blockchain seemed a natural extension of that. So we've all heard about traceability. I'm going to show you how this actually works in practice. So that's their product over there, on that bottle. That bottle's now got a QR code on it. The customer can go and pick it up. It says on their website, encouraging customers to do it. Go in, scan the QR code, see where it comes from, see the information, track it down to one of the 1,200 farms they've got taking part in Italy. So it's quite a large scale deployment. They have shipping companies and manufacturers, and it comes over to America. That's kind of how it works. I'll just go back. So let me show you what it actually looks like in practice. So these are their screens that they use for their shipping. This is their process. So they've got they've identified 7 steps in their process that they could improve. I won't talk these all through. All of these are manual. These are separate systems. And they were slowing things down and kept on making mistakes, and that's quite possible. So what they thought they would do is they would create dashboards. So I'm going to log in as there's 4 parties in this blockchain participating here. I'm going to log in as HQ. So HQ is based in North America. They say, okay, we're out of olive oil in the shops, we need to do some more. What they'll do is, they won't particularly use this dashboard, and I'll explain why in a minute. But this is effectively a blockchain explorer, but just looks a little bit fancy. What you're seeing here is you're seeing their purchase orders. That's literally just the state of the ledger. What you're seeing in the other 2 boxes is something called channels. In Hyperledger, it's a way of segregating the ledger into subledgers where you introduce privacy. So Vino, who's in this channel, cannot see data that's in that channel. And that was quite important. They didn't want to have purchase prices available to all. They wanted to separate out the data. And people didn't need to know the ship name coming from the logistics supplier. That wasn't necessary for some people, so they split it all up into subledgers and groups. So something called channels. So if I create a purchase order for some olive oil, it will appear here in this ledger. Now they wouldn't click on here in real life. They'll have some purchase order system they've already got in place. All this is the REST API for the smart contract. So this is literally a blockchain explorer and nothing more than that. They will then go through the approvals, purchase order will be approved. They will assign it to a subsidiary. In this case, there's only one, so we'll just auto-assign. The subsidiary will get an alert on their system. You'll see a pretty similar looking view. Nothing much has changed. There's an additional channel for production, but that's about it, because that's important to them, not important to HQ. HQ don't even know this exists. They don't really care. Not so important to them. They'll then act on his purchase order, and they'll create a work order for the manufacturers. So in this case, it comes over here. So this 1112 is the one we're playing with. And again, I wouldn't do this on this dashboard, but they'd use their own existing processes. So the existing processes haven't changed. They've got this nice fancy viewer, and they've got this great big blockchain, but their existing software is still in use. They'd assign that work order. In this case, there's only one in this demo, so it just automatically goes there. And the producer, the manufacturer, will get something in their view. So 1112. They'll have a look at the details, see what it is they need to make. That's okay, great. It's start production. Now they'll start to add stuff that's actually important to the consumer. So they'll start adding data that they have that nobody else has. That's going to be important. But obviously there's batch numbers and things like that. Very important for sell-by dates. But also, before I did this, I didn't realise that olive oil's got a tasting sheet. And actually people complain about how olive oil tastes. So now they can actually look up the taste rating of the farm that's produced the olive oil, and they can say, I didn't like that one, I'm going to scan another bottle and see what that is. So it's kind of empowering the consumer to find out a little bit more about the product is that they're actually consuming. So let's create this. To pretend that production is completed. It does some stuff on the other channel. For purposes of our demo, it's marked as completed. But that means it's ready to be shipped. So the subsidiary will see that. They'll get a notification that things have been done, so it's appeared here. We'll acknowledge that. They'll need their shipper to go and pick it up, so they'll create an invoice. Again, they'll start adding details here that they may share with the consumer, they may not share with the consumer. At the moment, I think they're sharing the ship name or nothing more than that. You see, it's still things they want to show. That will then create the alert for the shipping company. I log out, I log in as the shipping company. So they've got a very simplified view. They're only in one channel. They just see the invoices coming in. They'll see that this new 112 order is coming. They need to pick it up. They need to deliver it somewhere. They go and fill in the details that they need to fill in. Again, they wouldn't use the system. They've got an existing system already. All they'll do is call the REST API endpoint to create this data. Okay. Appeared here, ready to go. Then, at the moment, I don't think they're using IoT, but you can use IoT then to trigger the start of the shipping and the end of the shipping. So off it goes, it's being shipped along. Then at the end, HQ will get a notification that something has arrived for them to go and check. Go and check down here. Something is ready to check. They've got the shipping. They'll go through the procedures to make sure everything looks great. They've got all the information on the blockchain. They've almost eliminated all of the errors and issues they used to get. So now, because it's on a blockchain, nobody's going back and saying, "Oh no, you didn't order that. I didn't agree to that," because all that information is there in a mutable form. They've drastically cut down the time it takes to turn this around. So they mark that as received, and they'll mark that the purchase order is complete. We want to get notified, it will go out to the shops. So that's pretty much it. And this is exactly how the process is working right now.
Can I ask a question?
Yes.
Is that what you created there exactly like their existing business process? You just injected or overlaid blockchain?
That's the exact process. That's their exact process. There are more manufacturers, they've got more co-ops, and they've got more shippers. So when they know there's an issue with the shippers, so say a customer complains, and it's come from a particular co-op, and it's gone through this particular channel, and they found out it's adulterated, they can't eliminate adulteration. What they can start doing is breaking it down at the points to work out what is happening. So they've started doing that now, but that's their exact process. Okay. So kind of So this part is that very complicated diagram but in different formats. This is the stuff that basically we manage for you so that you concentrate on just your applications. So we're calling this the pre-assembled part of the platform. So we look after everything for you and we keep looking after it so you just look after your application. We're sticking to open standards so you can connect to other installations of Fabric. You can connect your install on your laptop to our platform. You can connect. If you're running on another cloud provider, you can connect fine. As long as you use the same protocol version, that's okay. There's some pretty exciting stuff coming in Hyperledger. So it's things about Interledger protocol coming, contributed by Ripple. So we think it's going to be quite exciting in the future. So we thought about all of the integrations. All of our software, so this is our software, already have integrations. So literally you just have to say, I want to connect that to blockchain, point to the endpoint, and you're off, and you can start pushing data in and getting data out. We want to make it easy for third-party SaaS applications, so we're starting to build those as well. So we've done a couple already. As long as it's a REST API, it's very easy, very trivial to do. And again, you can write custom applications to let you concentrate on those. So if you see that, so that's the hardening for the enterprise, so that's the security, so the patching, intrusion detection, all of that stuff we're doing for you so you don't have to do it. And then the whole thing wraps up as a brand, as autonomous, and it's all about us managing the risk, the software, the technology, and you looking after the application instead. Okay. So there's some links if you want to find out a little bit more. You can try it for free. 3,500 free hours. Probably get you a pretty good POC up and running in no time.